What's up, Comic Geeks? Welcome to issue 95 of the Script Heroes podcast. I'm Katie.
And I'm Joseph, and today we're going to be talking about Batman issue 2, Batgirl issue 12, Rook Exodus issue 7, Arcbound issue 6, Speed Racer issue 3, Cruel Universe issue 3, Something Beyond the Petrichor issue 3, and Starship Godzilla issue 1.
That's right, we have a whole lot to get through, so make sure you hit subscribe to add us to your pull list, and we're going to jump right into Batman.
Batman issue 2. The writer of the series is Matt Fraction, who's worked on Hawkeye, Iron Man, and Sex Criminals. The artist is Jorge Jimenez, who's worked on The Summer of Superman, Justice League, and Super Sons. The colorist is Tomei Mori, and the letter is Clayton Cowles. Key.
Yes.
I think we enjoyed issue 1 a lot, but there were some story maybe directions that we questioned.
I was much less sold on issue 1 than I think I expected to be. And I think part of that is because it was an issue 1 of Batman. So, there's a lot of expectations that go into that.
Yeah.
And I think that what they did in issue 1 was true to what they're going to do with the series, which is these really isolated kind of single issue stories. And I think that perhaps that wasn't something that I was like super ready for. And I stand by is a tough thing to make your Batman issue 1. Like, if you're gonna do that for a Batman issue 1, I think maybe
I'll go a step further. I think it's a tough thing to do in the main Batman book. Like, I feel like it's more justifiable to be like the Detective Comics thing that does. What one of the other Batman books does. But
I agree. But that being said, I feel like this issue, even though it focuses on our least favorite character in the entire Batman universe,
no, you went too wide there. Harley Quinn's, I think, incorporated in that.
Okay,
so.
That's fair. Our least favorite hero in the Batman universe. At the very least, our least favorite Robin. Jay and I are on the Tim Drake hate train. I still think that this issue succeeded a lot more for me than the previous one did. This one felt more structured, like a kind of single issue adventure to me.
That I agree with.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think that it did a good job of kind of having a thematic through line and a like good kind of, I don't know, good action pieces within. Like, there are some good combat moments for specifically for Tim, especially at one point he gets tossed in the back of a police van with a bunch of criminals he just busted.
Jorge Jimenez killed that. That was awesome.
So fucking good. And the combat in there was so fun. We also get like a couple of really good big moments where, again, I think Jorge Jimenez's art really got to shine because he's just so goddamn good.
I think weirdly he does an amazing Tim Drake. Like,
he does.
His Tim Drake design is real rad. Yeah,
like Tim Drake is such a complicated character in the like history of his design specifically. Like he's had, I think, some of the most iconic looks, for better and for worse, of a lot of characters. But yeah, so I think that this issue was a lot better for me in terms of structure and what it's doing. The fact that it was focused on Tim, and specifically the fact that it was focused on Tim's relationship to Bruce, isn't something that I'm like super invested in.
I really need to clarify. Tim Drake has parents, doesn't he?
Yes.
Which makes this issue incredibly
weird. I think
weird.
He has a dad. I don't think he has a mom.
Okay. Still makes this issue incredibly weird.
The thing that I came away from is something that does have me very worried about the series going forward. I'm worried that this is going to be kind of a mainstream Batman version of the Wayne family adventures. Which I think succeed in what they're doing as like a webtoon that is like a very shorthanded recap of years and years of history. I don't think that belongs in mainline Batman though. And that's just a worry that I have. It's not necessarily what it's going to be, but there's a lot of kind of jovialness in the relationships here that makes me a little bit worried.
I agree. So this was a Tim Drake focused issue, and I'm not a Tim Drake fan. That being said, I think Tim Drake was, and because he's the majority of the issue, it still makes it an enjoyable issue. I thought he was the only good part of this issue. I thought
Yes.
both Batman and Damian were almost insufferable.
Agreed.
I hated Damian in this book. This
so
was
bad.
full reversion to, step one Damian, which coming right from reading Batman and Robin to reading this, is a
Whiplash.
wild.
Especially because they're in the same universe. They're in the same timeline.
Yeah, they're happening at the same time. So wild. Also, I am so sorry to throw this criticism because I don't know that I've ever done it before. I don't think Jorge Jimenez draws a good Damian. I did not like the look of Damian in this.
Damian didn't get to do a lot. He was also exclusively
design.
He was also exclusively in his civilian clothes.
Yeah, but look at him. He's got a weird little buzz thing going on. I don't know.
It is very funny to me that I do think that he kind of swapped Damian and Tim's hair when Tim got into costume.
Yeah. So was not a huge fan of Damian. I like you said, I think Bruce was very un-Bruce like in this issue. Yeah. I thought the Tim stuff was cool. I liked Tim in the back of the van, that was rad. I think it was overall an enjoyable issue. But yeah, the teaching Tim to drive thing was just kind of weird. Again, Tim is not actually he has so many adopted kids you could have done this with. Tim is not actually his kid in any sense of the word, his kid. Tim has at least a father.
At least probably a father. I guess, things change in the DC universe pretty
okay, but he very much, I don't think, was ever really raised by Bruce the way that the other Bat family members have been. So from my understanding, that felt a little weird.
Agreed.
But yeah, it was weird to make the through line him teaching Tim to drive. I'm also this I can't say for a fact, but I would not be surprised if Tim has already learned how to drive in modern continuity at some point.
Well, it's specifically that Tim doesn't know how to drive stick.
Well, no, the point was Batman wanted him to learn to drive stick before driving.
Before driving the Batmobile.
Oh, I thought he said he hadn't driven at all. That makes it a little bit better for me here, but
and yeah, it's a weird thing where Tim always occupies such a strange place in the kind of Batman family mythos.
Yeah.
That it's a big swing to come right out and be like, okay, issue 2, we're focusing on his relationship with Tim.
Yeah.
But also in kind of a meme-y way.
I don't know how much of it, because we don't read a lot of things that get into it here. I am very strongly on the end of I do not think two people should share the same code name in comic books unless it's a Green Lantern thing where it makes sense based on the context. But I don't think we should have two Robins. I don't like that, especially when they're both working with Batman in Gotham. I don't know, that feels unnecessary complicated. Is Bruce just gonna call Robin 1 and Robin 2? What's going on? I don't like it.
I don't really care about it as much, but I do think that it's just another instance of Tim Drake's failure to launch, where it's they've given him so many opportunities or rather, they've given him so many places where he should have then had the opportunity to become his own person.
I don't know that turning him into Drake was giving him an opportunity.
No. Yeah, it's just a really weird generation of heroes, because Connor also doesn't have a whole lot to do a lot of the time.
Just bring back King Justice. There you go.
Exactly. Shove them all in there. So yeah, it was. I felt conflicted about this issue, but I do think that structurally,
I enjoyed the issue more than I enjoyed what it's doing.
Me too. Yeah. Which honestly, I'm not super mad at, because I feel like the ethos of this new Batman run is kind of pick up an issue, read it, and you've done it. And I'm okay, I'm on board with that.
And I think I said last month that is weirdly how I tend to feel about Matt Fraction's books, where I'm I enjoy the reading experience, and then I put it down, I'm did I like what he did?
Yeah, be sure to check out our full-on review of Matt Fraction's Hawkeye.
Somewhere, if I can find it,
somewhere.
Yeah, it's buried in an episode somewhere.
Oh, is it? My word.
Yeah,
it was a long time ago, I guess.
It was back when we did back issue reviews and
Yeah.
in the so we'll see.
But we have more bats to talk about, so let's move right along to Batgirl number 12. Batgirl number 12. This is coming to us from writer Tate Bromble of Christopher Chaos, House of Slaughter, and Green Lantern Dark. The artist is Takashi Miyazawa of Miss Marvel, Spider-Gwen, and Mech Cadet U. The inker on some of the pages is Juan Castro, and the colorist is Mike Spicer, with a lettering from Tom Napolitano. Jay.
Yes.
Batgirl, kind of a new vibe, which is odd for an issue 12, historically speaking.
Yeah,
but
it's a new arc, I think, is what you were looking for.
The thing is, I was gonna say new arc, and then I was like, yeah, it is, but it's
it
issue
is a new
12,
arc.
which is weird.
It's one of the arc.
Yeah.
Because they had a 2-issue arc in there
Yeah.
that I think through some things. It was a 6-issue arc, and then a 2-issue arc, and then a 3-issue arc.
Yeah.
So that's how we got here. Yeah. I mentioned how I was very excited to get into more League stuff, and we kind of do in this issue, which is nice. But it is a little bit of a weirdly paced issue, I feel, with a lot of characters talking, which is like, can be fine, but I also feel like they go in circles a decent amount.
Yeah.
I am still not the biggest fan of Jade Tiger. I don't know.
And I don't think this issue does him any favors.
No, I don't think this issue does him any favors at all. He's kind of just obnoxious, I guess. He's very a full black and white morality. He's like, we can't work with the League of Assassins because they're the bad guys. Which is,
it's like, bro, you literally just learned that your mom was a supervillain.
So yeah, it's a weird issue. Takeshi Miyazawa draws some beautiful stuff as usual, but doesn't really get as much to do as I think they can tend to shine in the big action-packed issues. So yeah, this issue didn't super land for me. I thought it was, fine, I guess. I like the League, but this didn't really feel like the League.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is like, it's the League of Shadows in name, but it's not the League of Shadows in leadership or, goal. Like, it's a different League of Shadows.
I'm fine with Nyssa leading the League of Shadows if we're gonna be like, oh, Roz is gone, so we need like something. It's like, okay, that could work, but
also she's completely changed the League, which, like, I think that if it was a different but similar vibe to the League is no longer evil. The League is straight up out here healing people. Like, they refer to it as all of these, bad guys turning over a new leaf. And I'm like, okay. But at that point, it's not the League anymore, right? And like, I understand that they have, grown or whatever. But I think that it's something where when we first were introduced to Lady Shiva in this series, we were both really excited because it was a really interesting take on her. And we got a lot of great history on her that we didn't have before, that like explained a lot of things about her and, made her more sympathetic. Like, she was a great character in this series. But the recontextualization of her history didn't change who she was. And I'm worried that this is a new and probably cool take on the League, but it's going to be too far of a departure.
Yes.
Which, we'll see where it goes. Obviously, there's room for Nyssa to be lying in some sort of, like, duplicitous way, which I would be very much a fan of. Like, I feel like it's been tough. I feel like the villains of this book have been very cool, but very kind of surface level. And a lot of that is because they're all kind of set up to die. Pretty much all of them have died. So there's this great looming threat of the Unburied, but the kind of personal connections we've had have run a little bit dry. So if the League does like a good heel turn, I think that'll be great. Which is a funny thing to say about the League. But they turned into
a very spontaneous face turn in
exactly.
in this one, so
yeah.
I I agree. It doesn't super feel like the League, which definitely made me feel a little let down after last issue, where I was like, nice, new League, I'm excited.
What I will say though is I love that this is not. It's such a good and like present modern series forecast, and I love so much how much Tate Bromwell has done their homework with.
Yeah, there's a reference
Like,
like a 2000 issue of
yeah,
Batgirl
back
or
in
something.
the like a OG cast Batgirl run, which is
Yeah.
great because I love that it's not trying to create a new history for Cass. It's trying to remind people that she is a character who has existed
Yes.
over the course of a lot of issues. Like, Cass has a lot of stuff to pull from. And I love so much that this book is like, yeah, this is a part of that history. We're not
Yeah.
ignoring that. This is not like, it is Cass for a new audience, but it's not a new Cass.
Yes.
Which I think is really,
It feels
really
like Tate
phenomenal.
Bromwell's a huge fan of Cass.
Yeah.
And I feel like the one consistent thing throughout this book has been that Cass herself has been incredibly well written.
Yeah.
And
I love the nightmares that she's having. I think that's super fucking bad.
That's a good. I'm glad you shouted that up, because that was a highlight of this issue for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, as always with this series, I'm super excited to see what's happening with Cassandra, even if the world around her isn't the stuff that I'm the most interested in.
Oh yeah, we also got we got interaction with the other Batgirls, which I thought you'd
Yes.
be,
Yeah. It was shut down really quickly, which I think
It
is why I
was.
didn't even bother to bring it up, because I was gonna bring it up in the context of the old cast. It feels a little like Tate Bromwell's like, okay, that Batgirl series, it happened. Her relationship to Steph is obviously important, but we're not dealing with that here. We're not dealing with this like kind of really cute Cassandra Cain. We're dealing with badass daughter of the Bat Cassandra Cain. And I'm like, I appreciate that. Like, I like whenever Cass gets to pop up, and I feel like this is a really, really a really good Batgirl run for her.
Yeah,
I'm so
absolutely.
proud. Yeah.
But we
have more books to talk about. Namely, the return to one of our never mind. Namely, the
our
introduction
last,
to
we'll say it again, Free Comic Book Day poll.
And who knows if we're even correct in saying that, because we've said it 1,000 times. We're going to go talk about Starship Godzilla.
Starship Godzilla, issue 1. The writer is Chris Gooch of In Utero and Under Earth. The artist is Oliver Ono of Godzilla Monster Island Summer Camp, Creep Show, and Project Big Hype. And the letter is Hassan Fatzman Alao. Katie.
Yes.
This is one that we were pretty excited for after the Free Comic Book Day issue.
Yes.
I feel as though you were going to have very positive things to say about this issue.
I do. I quite liked it. I want to start by saying I feel like it's been a while since this specifically has happened, but this is another one of those books where I started reading the first few pages. I was like, man, I really like this lettering decision. Who was this? Like, it was with the yelling burst coming out of the caption box. I was like,
yeah,
that's so neat looking. Who's to blame? Of course. I should have guessed. But I feel like a lot of the hype that I have for this book can be attributed directly to Oliver Ono. This book has so much energy to it. It's got such like, I don't know, bouncy movement. It's the way that you move through this book is with such like excitement and delight. Personally, at least, like, it's the art style gives it a really good kind of cartoony balance so that very serious things can be happening and they can still feel light and fun. Like, you would not be able to tell this story in the main Godzilla book, right? Like, it would have a totally different tone. But it's giving Cowboy Bebop. It's giving a little bit of Firefly. It's giving kind of Space Rascals. And I love the Space Rascals vibe. So I had a lot of fun reading it. I think that the characters are pretty immediately endearing once they start interacting with each other.
The characterization was phenomenal for the first issue. It was really, really strong. Like, almost immediately, as soon as the character starts speaking, you get such a good sense of like who they are and how they fit into this star crew, I guess is what you want to call them. That was, I think, one of the big highlights.
One of the highlights for sure. Um, the only complaint that I have about it is that I think with us reading all of the other Godzilla books as well, I feel like this is such a different, like, it's set in space for one.
Yeah.
So it is like demonstrably far away from all of the
Yeah.
events happening on Earth. But one, it doesn't feel very connected at all in a way where you can very much live in the world of Escape the Dead Zone and mainline Godzilla at the same time. It's like these two things feel like they very much could be happening at the same time. This feels so disconnected from the rest of the Kaisei universe to me that I'm like, okay, I don't even know that this needs to be a part of the Kaisei universe. Like I'm worried that it's going to create, because in both of those other books, you get a really kind of good sense of the fear around kaiju and
Yeah.
the massive power that they hold. And then in this one, we're playing with baby kaiju, which is great
It's a
and I
girl and her
love.
kaiju.
It's great and I love, but it's also like, okay, I don't know that I buy that these are the same type. Like, if these are the same universe of kaiju as the ones that we have happening on Earth right now. And that's my only real gripe
They're
about it.
baby kaiju though,
They're
so
babies, yeah.
yeah, yeah. No,
How'd you
I
feel?
enjoyed this a lot. I thought this was very fun. Like I said, the characterization is so strong that I think it really helps, especially our main girl here, whose name I forgot. I kept thinking it was the name. What is it, Ilsa of
No,
the other girl
Ilsa's.
they say her name so frequently because she's like,
Yes.
the controller. I don't
I'm
know what
so
her
mad because
name
I
is.
specifically made a point to look at the names before we started recording, but then we did a bunch of stuff before we recorded.
Yeah, but anyway, I think
She's
she
great.
is so well characterized. Which immediately makes it easier to root and buy into her as our main character here. And I'm not as worried about, like, I think the gripe of like the kaiju not really feeling like necessarily the same universe kaiju is fair, but I'm not really worried about it not being connected. Like that's not really
Mhm.
something the universe has to do, especially right away.
For
I mean,
sure.
hell, we were talking about how we didn't think the absolute universe should connect yet. Like
Yeah.
I think that there being a book that isn't immediately connected to the other two isn't necessarily like a bad thing for a shared universe. I mean, same thing in like the Energon universe. Sometimes there we're like, oh, they might be connecting things too soon. So yeah, I'm fine with this being like off on its own for a while. Especially because it's a very fun book that I think can kind of carry its own thing that it has going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't need it to connect. I think it was the kaiju of it all where I'm like, this feels like a different universe. Like, this doesn't feel
Yeah.
like it's following the same
I am
rules.
sure they are going to end up interacting with kaiju that will just fuck them up and like will
Probably, yes.
like this.
One would hope.
This baby kaiju. I think we can write off the baby
Yes.
kaiju.
We can write off the baby kaiju.
Yeah. But this was
That's
fun.
fair.
I think Oliver Ono is freaking phenomenal. I've never seen
Absolutely.
their artwork before, but like, holy crap, it's got such a good vibe. And the other thing I want to shout out is I feel like compared to the other two Godzilla books that have been, like, this is a much more like new creator type book. Like, these are creators that aren't super well established, so
Which we love to see.
I'm always very excited to see like that kind of team being put on a very big property like this, especially in a big connected universe too. So I am very much behind that.
Hell yeah. Big shout to IDW.
Yeah. Always big shout outs to IDW.
But do you want to see the Godzilla universes collide? What do you think the ramifications would be if Spaceship Godzilla, Starship Godzilla rather, came to Earth? Let us know your thoughts down below, and we are going to move right along to another space adventure in Arcbound, number 6. Arcbound, number 6. The writers here are Scott Snyder of Batman, Justice League, and Noctera, and Frank Thierry of Wolverine, Iron Man, and Harley Quinn, with character development assistance from Tom Hardy of Batman: The Dark Knight Rises, and plenty others. The artist is Ryan Smallman. This is his first major comic, and we have not stopped gushing about him since. The colorist is Frank William, and the letterer is Buddy Bedoin. Jay, how long has it been?
I think it's been another 3 months after 3 months
So
before
long.
issue 5, which is like really rough for I believe this is a 12-issue maxi series. And issue 7 isn't even solicited, so I am very scared. And
it's one of those things. Yeah, it's one of those things where we bring it up with books because it does matter when you're reading on that monthly basis.
It really, really does. And that is like the biggest gripe with this issue, because I think this is a very, very strong issue. There is a
Agreed.
lot of really, really rad things going on here. I think it's probably in theory early enough to talk about, but I don't want to talk about the big thing that kind of happens that is such a, I think, great emotional moment to kind of
or the
there there are several big things that kind of happen back to back, which honestly is like a really great thing to do for your essentially arc ender of this issue.
I will
Though
say I
it
think it's
ends
important to talk about the this one. Actually, I think that that's a lot of the issue, and it's very early on. I think you should bring it up.
Okay. So you're talking about our scientist lad and his involvement in the big guy.
I was specifically talking about our wifey.
Oh no, that one I didn't want to talk about. That I think you can't talk about here.
It was the cliffhanger of the last issue.
Was it?
Not what happened, but
Yeah, I don't think you can talk about that. I think that's I wouldn't talk about
all right.
I think that's fake. No, I think that's like the big emotional thing. I wouldn't. Yeah, that's what I was saying was the other one that I didn't want to talk about was the wife. The scientist
Fair
one
enough.
I feel like isn't. It's a like really good sequence, but it's not something that I feel like as much is gonna like ruin somebody's reading experience.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I thought that was done very well. The wife thing I don't want to talk about, but was really really a big thing here. And I like I'm gonna keep talking about all of the things, but I like the kind of Xander and Ward dynamic going into this. I think that if you know, you'll know what that means. Because there's a big thing there, and then the way that leads to Xander and Kai interacting towards the end of this issue, I think is also really really rad. I think Kai gets a lot of really good character beats in this issue, which he doesn't always get in this, at least in the more recent issues of the series. I think he got much better character stuff in the very early issues of the series. But yeah, I really like this issue. The fact that it's not a very like endy arc ender, which makes sense for a 12-issue like series, but also when you're gonna probably now go forever before the next issue is also a little bit upsetting with it. And Ryan Smallman does incredible things in this issue. So.
Yeah, I will say I think there were a few I think maybe more rushed areas in this one in terms of the art. Like there were some pages where I was like, oh, that doesn't look the way that I expect Arcbound to look. But there were also some absolutely astounding pages too.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there was very much the
scientist backstory page I thought was
so cool.
So well done.
Yeah.
So well, it had a rad layout too.
Yeah, and then there were, I think it was a lot of the kind of explaining pages where characters were just talking.
Yeah.
That it felt like maybe they were done a little more quickly. So it's still so good. Like Ryan Smallman is so talented. And again, we've said it once, we've said it 1,000 times. The fact that this is his first like kind of big comic work is crazy because he understands sequential art so well. He does such cool things with paneling. Really, really great. And then what I want to touch on without spoilers is kind of what you were saying with it not feeling like an ending. And it could be a symptom of the book not coming out all at once. I felt like I did not have a good kind of conclusion to this arc really at all, because the stuff with the Ever, which is what's inside the vault, I had very little memory of. And so I felt like it was something that really struggled to feel like a big character moment and worth all of the sacrifices that were happening to me. Because I'm like, I remember these characters that I really like, and I remember the thing about his wife being used as a bargaining chip and all that stuff. And that was all really effective. But then the actual plot of it, like the reason that they were all making sacrifices and putting themselves at risk, did not wow me. Which is a bummer.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah.
But still a gorgeous book, still great characterization. I think in the most literal way possible, I might have lost the plot a little bit.
Get your book out faster. I don't know what else there is to say.
Yeah, it happens. But are you looking forward to the continuation of this book? And do you
Which is
think that it's
hopefully
going to take just as long for the collected trade to come out as it does for the issues to come out? Let us know your thoughts down below. And we're going to move right along to Cruel Universe. It's time for number 3 in volume 2 of Cruel Universe from Oni putting out EC Comics. We have 3 stories in here, so as usual, Jay and I are each going to pick one, and we'll talk about those. Jay, do you have one that you like best?
Yeah, I think Genocide to Go was my favorite. With writer Ryan Hughes, artist Anna Reedman, colorist Heather Breckel, and letters by Richard Starkings and Tyler Smith. This story firstly has a fairly fun art style.
It does. It's very kind of almost Mad Magazine-y.
Yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. And I think it's quite fun. It's about aliens that come to Earth, and instead of like taking over, they just open up a fast food place.
Mm-hmm.
And this fast food place sells balls, but these balls are actually brains. And that is, I don't want to, spoil the like ending of it, but the ending is I think very fun. Fun. I'm probably fucked up to call that fun, but I think it's very fun, and I love the concept, and the I find the main dude somewhat funny. So
Good old Dave.
yeah.
Yeah, one thing that I really liked about that issue is I loved the line where they were like, yeah, we were all like really worried that they were here to take over the world. And then they did what most, people who come here do and open up a restaurant. So like that's so like that's such great like observational humor to me. I'm just like that.
It's
You know what? That's funny.
Funny thing. And then like the aliens whose brains are the balls, I found very funny because it was actually like a pretty interesting look, like the idea of like non-objective morality, which is like a very contradictory thing that if you go into could lead to stuff like that. It's like, well, if there's no objective morality, then like,
and I think that there's
fine.
They did a good job in this story in a way that I think a lot of these EC shorts have struggled to do, where there's like a little bit of social commentary in there. Like there's an interpretation of some of the lines where it's like, okay, you can see how this could be used as like an allegory for something, but it's not hitting you over the head with it, and it's not directly related
in the
to
story and in service of the story, not
exactly.
Like this is what I'm trying to make a point of, and so that it's much more like this is it baked into a story, and this is how that moves forward.
Which is like how actual allegory should be, as opposed to what in a lot of these other issues that we've read have been very heavy-handed things.
Yeah, the thing is like when you press for time, some people just go into the like I'm gonna bash you over the head with it. But I feel like this is what you do when you press for space. You do something simple, but that can have like these layers to it, which is why I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, which is why I'm also a little grumpy that you chose this one, because I was going to choose this one.
You gave it to me first. You didn't have to do that.
I did actually, because it was your turn to monologue. But that's okay, because I also did quite like Pheromone, which was the second story. That came to us from writer Cecil Castelluccia and artist Claire Rowe, and the colorist was Jordi Belair. I thought that this one was really fun in like a deep character study way. Like we follow this woman who's like very kind of fucked. Like she her jealousy leads her into truly like a mad scientist situation in a way that I think is pretty unique. Like you don't get that type of mad science very often. And I liked the way that her character actually got like not development in I think a typical way, but you get to see her respond to her own madness. And I liked that quite a bit. I feel like that made for a much more interesting character. Because I think it gave her a lot more dimension in a way that we've talked about, and Genocide to Go did a really good job with it as well. How a lot of these anthology stories kind of live or die based on the kind of twist ending they give, because most of them are going to have a twist ending or like kind of a shocking ending. And I think that the way that Pheromone ended was a twist as opposed to like a twist to horror the way that it normally goes, was kind of a twist to humanity, which I quite liked for something that started out as like a kind of horror thing.
Yeah, I like the ending in theory. To me, it did feel a little rushed. I think they needed a couple more pages for the ending that they were going for, because it just kind of felt a lot more explaining than like actually
That is
getting
fair.
go
I think the
there.
whole thing, it was a very caption heavy story, so a lot
It
of it
was.
was pretty explainy.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, the earl like a caption heavy story is always gonna be explainy, but like it can be, I guess, a closer explainy, which is how it felt like it started for the first couple
Yeah,
days.
that's
And
fair.
then it just felt like we kind of jumped and we were like, and this is how it ended. And I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, very fair, very fair.
So that
It
was my
worked.
one
It
gripe with
worked for
that, and
me.
why I ended up going to the other story as
Yeah,
my favorite. But I liked the setup of Pheromone a lot. And I think conceptually it was really great. I thought the art form was really, really good.
really wonderful. Yeah. Great work, Claire Rowe.
Absolutely.
Great. Yeah. This I think was one of my favorite EC ones that we've read so
Yeah,
far.
this was good. This was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. But that is going to take us to the next book we're going to talk about today, which is the return of pod favorite Rook Exodus. Rook Exodus number 7. This comes to us from writer Jeff Johns of Green Lantern, Flash, and Justice League. The artist is Jason Fabok of Batman, Justice League, and Suicide Squad. The colorist is Brad Anderson, and the letter is Rob Lay. Jay, we have been waiting with such anticipation.
Yes. Oh, they do such a good job of like easing you back in. Like we start with these. I think it's at least 3 pages without dialogue, which is like, I feel like we've talked about how they just know in this book when to like really throw text. Like they'll go from extreme to extreme. You'll have a page that's full of captions and dialogue, and then pages that are completely empty. It's just two masters of the craft, really, in that sense. But man, we're back in a new volume, and we're just immediately hitting with the awesome characters in this book. Stag is super cool, but Bloodhound is sick. Like
wild.
In the like most terrifying for our character's way possible, because he has like no right mind anymore and is completely animalized by his mask. But man, is he rad. Does he look cool? Does he like the way that he like moves with his animals is so rad. Jason Fabok kills it. I love it. It's I don't want to like get too deep into it because it ends up being the end of this issue where we actually get the direwolf Bloodhound interaction. Yeah. But that is so good and so well done, and it has such emotion behind it, and I love it. Oh, and then it's also just such a good like way back into the book to have Rook like going to Stag and being like, "This is what's happened. This is what we need to do." What?
He goes to Goat, not to Stag.
To Goat. You're right. I'm sorry. To Goat. And being like, we're getting all the wardens. This is what we're doing. This is like our next quest. This is what we did. What's the turtle? It's Terrapin, right? Isn't it?
Carapace, I believe.
Yeah. Like the interactions with him and the way that the grid works. So it's all of these things that like immediately pull you back into the world, orient you, and then hit you with these emotional things. And like set up our next adventure to come. I thought this was such a good issue.
Yeah, this feels like the perfect way to have done like a hiatus for a book. Like it was so beautifully planned, and it was made to be a place to come back to. Like this feels like a new season of my favorite TV show coming back on. Which is, I think, so cool, and I think something that
we're gonna make sure we have the whole thing done, and then Jason Fabok needs a break because he knows he can't do 12 issues in a year, and then we'll do like this is planned out compared to some of the other ones where it's like we just fell behind.
Yeah, and it works so well in a way where I'm like, I hope that other series going forward can kind of take note. Like, if you do a really fucking good job and you plan it out to be this way, you can have this release schedule and it's fine, and you can give artists the time that they need, because comic art has become so much bigger than it ever has been before. Like, every page is so detailed and absolutely glorious.
That's Jason Fabok.
That's Jason Fabok for you. And one other thing, which we've, I think, very briefly and occasionally talked about with Marvel before, I love a little previously on blurb.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
it's
it's
an
very
editorial
helpful.
decision, but I think it's such a good decision,
Yeah,
especially after we haven't been with the book for a while. Like,
I just
or
don't see the
it's like,
harm in having it on like every book. Like, who
exactly.
cares if it came out? Like, I read a lot of books. It's nice to have the little. This is what happened last issue.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
it's like great. I feel like every part of this issue felt like it was giving me just room to run back in.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly.
and the fact that, like you said, it sets you up with all of this universe stuff again. It opens with, I think, one of the most badass sequences from the entirety of Rook Exodus, which is this battle between Stag and Wolf. It's so cool, it's so rad. It immediately reminds you of the reasons that this book is so rad. Like, it's so beautiful. It reminds you of
Yeah,
the cool universe, the way that they use their animals in this fight. It's so cool. And then it reminds you of the cool plot stuff that's going on. You get so many great homages to our boy Swine, who was such like an emotional linchpin in the first volume, and you get the living on of him through Pumbaa. Rook explains to you what his character development in the first one was, so you know where he is and you understand his motives. And then to have that build up to this amazing interaction between Bloodhound and Direwolf, where it's like, oh right, and we have a new emotional linchpin for
yep,
this. It just feels like every single thing you could want in a book has been just expertly brought together in this one. And it has me so excited. It's like, yes, what I am getting in this second volume of Rook Exodus is the same insanely high quality content that we got in the first volume,
yeah.
which is great.
It's like I said, it really does feel like a book made by two masters of their craft. Jeff Johns is, when he wants to be, such an incredible world builder. Like, I think one of the absolute best world builders in comic books. And this book in particular is, I think, him like showing that for the first time in a long time. It's like, yeah, I can just build out one of the coolest, raddest worlds you've ever, could possibly imagine, and it's all going to connect and make sense and work in such an incredible way. I love it. It is basically just the Green Lantern emotional spectrum, but instead of emotions, we're using like animals. It's like, yeah, we got all these things. They all have essentially the same power, but in these different ways. It's awesome. It's rad.
It's a
I love
vibe.
it. Jason Fabok kills it. They have awesome masks. I
Very
still think they need to make
importantly,
some of these masks.
I got my sick mask cover. Though I am very regretful because there's a beautiful connecting cover that I think you might have if you have the A cover.
Yeah, the cover.
So I'm a little bummed because, oh my god, I want that. But that's fine. Like you were saying, they should definitely
yeah, I want figures, statues, masks, whatever. Like, I genuinely want stuff from this book like on my shelves
yeah,
so bad.
same.
Everything is so beautifully designed by Jason Fabok. It's awesome.
Yeah, let us know what merch of Rook Exodus would you want to see pop up in the Ghost Machine store. Let us know in the comments, and we are going to move right on along to friend of the pod, Dakota Brown's Something Beyond the Petrichor.
Something Beyond the Petrichor, issue 3. The writer of the book is friend of the pod, Dakota Brown, who's worked on Grandma Tilly's Health Tech Mech and Death Comes with a Toy Maker. We have a couple interviews with Dakota up on the podcast, so you should check those out. The artist, colorist, and letterer is David Lujan, who's worked on Big Game Saga and Narita. Katie, talk to me about issue 3 of Something Beyond the Petrichor.
Green Eyes is my new favorite character, and it's such a compliment because the bar was so high.
He's like a big dog.
He's like a big dog. But I love Jocelyn, I love Quigley, and the fact that Green Eyes came in and with no dialogue because he's a giant gorilla dog, was able to become my new favorite character. It's beautiful. This book is so gosh darn good.
Oh yeah.
The resolution, it happens in the first couple pages, so I don't know why I was about to try to talk around it.
Yeah.
Green Eyes saves Jocelyn and Quigley from the creepy man, who had creepy implications happening, who also fully backhanded Jocelyn last issue.
Yeah, wild in the last issue.
Like crazy to see on the page.
Oh my god.
And just yeets him into the storm. which is
Yeah,
so great. I love that
I
so
love
much.
it. That was amazing.
The immediate bond between Jocelyn and Green Eyes is great. I feel like it really is enhanced by, in the previous issue, the way that her and her dad interacted.
Yeah,
It doesn't seem like a kind of her like replacement for dad type of thing, but it does bring out a kind of like joy in her that we haven't gotten to see uh,
yeah,
outside of those flashbacks. Um, it is a bummer. We mentioned it with other books, so it feels important to bring up. We did have a little bit of a delay on this one, I believe, but really just
yeah.
like a
There's
month
been
or so.
Red Five's had a lot of distribution issues to the point that I think we're not going to get issue 4 for a while, because I
Yeah,
believe after this we're going back
to issue
to
1.
issue 1 through their new distributors, which are going to be
Mhm.
Lunar and Filbo, because they're not going to be with Diamond anymore because of obviously all those issues. So yeah, I don't think it was on the creatives or the publishers, so it's
No, yeah.
really rough to hit this one report because it was really not anybody involved's fault. But yeah, that does,
But that being
obviously
said, I do feel like it's one where I was able to kind of immediately get right back into it without really sort of any problem at
yeah,
all. It's a book with a startlingly simple concept when you kind of step back and away from it. I'm like, oh right, they're on the run from this acid rain. This man was being weird, and this man is dead now. So we were. I feel like this is one where I was able to really jump back in, no problemo.
yeah. I feel like
Um,
honestly, for me, if anything, it maybe helped a little, because I feel like if I had went straight in from last issue, I would have probably been more frustrated at the fact that the cliffhanger was resolved so quickly.
that's fair.
Um, Compared to with the more of the gap, it made it more so it was like, oh, this is just more of an approachable issue because we kind of just finished that and moved into what we're doing this month. So yeah,
Yeah, we get it. And speaking of this month, we get like really exciting evolution of the world and what's going on, which is
yeah,
super,
we
super
get
exciting to see.
a calling it I mean, it is a character, but it's a character that we don't get to really know a ton
A
about.
slug
But then
boy.
it's like, yeah, I didn't know if we should. Yeah, we get this like Sluggy Boy, and then we go into a really big thing that's the issue ender, which is
Yes.
crazy. But yeah, a lot more of the world is revealed in this issue, which makes sense because it's an ultimate issue. Yeah, this book's
Yeah.
so good. They know what they're doing. It really is such a great read. I thought Quickly was hilarious in this issue because
So good.
he gets a little bit jealous,
I
and
swear it's
then
not a jealousy thing, but I don't trust this monster.
and then we get several instances of him kind of being in uh I'll say dangerous situations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
I don't
almost
want to
stepped in
spoil.
puke.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't want to spoil the bigger thing. But yeah, and I thought he was hilarious throughout all of that. I thought there was a good emotionality behind it too. I do think I think this issue is great. I think that you could throw a little criticism at the fact that the cliffhanger from last issue was resolved very, very quickly and easily. But I think that some of that, and honestly, like I think they're probably doing the best that they possibly can, which is really, really good in the format that they're in. But I think that this book is going to have a little bit, at the end of the day, suffering from miniseries itis,
Yes.
which I've talked about, where it's like, this world is so big and they can do so much that it being a 4-issue mini, I think, is a slight unfortunate thing for it, because
Yeah.
it means that it does have to move very quickly to stuff that we probably could have let breathe a little bit more otherwise. But they're doing such a good job that every issue is so incredibly good that I'm not going to
And
be
so
too worried if
beautiful.
we're like moving fast. Yeah. Oh my god, the artwork is phenomenal.
Gotta give huge props to David Lujan. Every issue is so beautiful. So much of the identity of this book
Coloring's
comes
gorgeous.
from the coloring. The emotionality of like I semi-jokingly, mostly not jokingly, said Green Eyes is my new favorite character.
Yeah.
But a lot of that comes from the fact that he's so emotive. Like this giant
Yeah.
gorilla dog has so much personality
His
going
tongue's
on.
out.
His tongue's out
Which like,
constantly.
I want to go back to like the ending of issue 1 where you get that shot. That's like I think it's the issue ender. Of Green Eyes.
You have the Green Eyes in the storm when they're
yeah.
like under the umbrella.
The fact that Luan can both like get you that shot where you're like terrified, and now turn around to like big happy dog that's emoting is like such a good example of how the artwork can really convey tone to you, because it is essentially like conveying Jocelyn's, not interpretation,
Perception.
perception. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for, of Green Eyes. So yeah, the artwork does such a great job of kind of that back end storytelling, as Dakota is also doing great work with the characterization. So yeah, good job.
Really wonderful series. We love it. We love it. And we have one more book to talk about today.
We do.
We do. It is Speed Racer, number 3. Speed Racer, number 3. This is coming to us from writer David Pepos of Space Ghost, Captain Planet, and Punisher. The artist is Davide Tinto of Ultraman, Star Wars, and Commanders in Crisis. The colorist is Rex Locust, and the letterer is Buddy Bedoin. Jay, we've liked Speed Racer so much.
We got a brother issue here.
We got a brother issue. You love
in a way.
Yeah.
What
I was gonna say you love brother stories, but I was like, no, he likes dad stories. But we both love sibling stories in general.
No, so I really, really like Racer X in this. I mean, Racer X, I think we've talked about since the beginning, is the coolest character in Speed Racer. I have a feeling that's probably an opinion that Speed Racer fans also hold.
Oh, yeah.
For people brand new to the universe, it is very clear that Racer X is the coolest character in this universe.
You mean you don't think the monkey is the coolest character?
No, I don't.
Crazy.
But this is a very fun issue that kind of starts to pull back on some of Racer X's. Obviously, we got the Racer X issue as well, but kind of starts to put, I guess, Racer X's motivations a little bit more out there, and we get to see them actually interact with Speed and what Speed's trying to do, which is very, very fun. And we get the two of them both against each other and on the same side of each other in this issue,
which is so fun.
Yeah, it's very, very fun. I thought the races in this issue were really, really well done. I think I mentioned that in issue 2 that I didn't think the race in that was quite as good as issue 1, and I think that this has confirmed to me that it is because just street racing is more entertaining to watch.
Oh yeah,
track racing. Like the street races are so good in this book.
You get to use the environment. You get to use
and the cars doing all these crazy things. Like they have like grappling hooks that they use to like take turns, and they've got like armor and shields and blades and all this crazy stuff going on. That's really, really fun. Yeah, this was a very, very fun issue. We got a little bit more of the third brother. What's his dumb name?
Like, you're not wrong. His dumb name is Sprittle.
Yeah, that's an awful name. Sprittle Racer? I'm sorry. You have Rex Racer and Speed Racer, and then you went with Sprittle Racer?
I have no answers for you.
But, yeah, we get a bit of him, which is like a nice shared motivation between the brothers, even though, obviously, Speed doesn't know that Racer X is their brother, which is great. And then we get Racer X, as like small as it is, Racer X has like some amount of an arc in his, mindset in this.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really, really rad. So yeah, I enjoyed this. This is fun. Racer X is awesome. And this book continues to really impress me.
Yeah, again, Racer X is just so goddamn cool. And he gets to be, in his own book, obviously he had to deal with, like, being the main character, whatever, which inherently is going to make you less cool because you have to, like, be down on your luck a little bit as the main character. He gets to be so fucking rad here because he gets to be, like, an antagonist but also a mentor, which is such a fun dynamic to have with Speed.
Goes up and ends this like bar fight. He's like nah. Everybody chill. You don't want to
such good, like, and I feel like that's such a good big brother dynamic to have, where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna knock you on your ass, but I'm also gonna teach you how to knock other people on their ass. I'm gonna teach you how to get up again. And like, I feel like that's such a good dynamic for them to have because it is a very brotherly dynamic, but you can also do it with that kind of anonymous shield up, where it's like, Speed doesn't know that this is Rex. And I don't know if in the Speed Racer canon that's normally something that gets revealed or anything, but I really like it as just kind of this antagonistic, anonymous relationship where it's like, you're you're not as good as I am, and we know that. And I'm gonna help you on your way because maybe you do have a knack for this type of thing. So I think it was really fun to get to see them interact because we saw a little bit of it in the Racer X book, but it was very kind of stock interaction because it was before he died.
I meant to look into if that was like dialogue from the cartoon or anything.
Oh yeah,
but,
right.
You got to look that up. So.
But yeah, I think they got to have great interactions here, and if this becomes like the core of the Speed Racer book, I'm gonna be so happy. And even if it's just a tangentially related thing, I will also be happy because this is my new favorite part of the book. That and the sick racing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's I think that about says it all.
That about says it all. How are you guys enjoying Speed Racer? Let us know in the comments how much more Racer X you want to see in the picture, and why is the answer so much more. We'd love to see it. But it's time for the most exciting part of the episode. It's pull list Wreck-A-Clock. We had a lot of good contenders this week. It was a good week for our pull lists. Yeah. But I have one that I'm gonna pick.
I think I know yours.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say it's unfortunate that it released this week because I feel like it made it really difficult for anything else to even stand a chance.
Yeah.
And the fact that there was another book that I really, really liked and could have possibly unseated it is also a huge compliment. Are you giving yours to the same book, or do you have something else in mind?
I think
so. All right,
so.
do you want to do it on the count of 3?
It'd be very embarrassing if this is wrong.
1, 2, 3.
Oh no! Okay, I was wrong. There we go.
I am shocked. I am so deeply shocked. Because that was my number 2. Easy money. But Rook Exodus, the familiarity bias, perhaps.
That's fair.
Yeah, I loved both of these books this week. I'm glad that we each picked one. Because I was going to be really bummed.
Do you want to give yours?
Yes. Rook Exodus number 7. It's a return to form. It's phenomenal. It brings you right back into everything that we loved about the first volume. And it so succeeds in every single aspect of storytelling.
Absolutely. Starship Godzilla issue 1. Such a good new book. Immediately amazing characterization. Such a strong artistic identity right off the bat. And I'm a sucker for sci-fi books. It was a very sci-fi week, which I think made me very happy. But yeah, this book is awesome. Pick up Starship Godzilla issue 1.
And pick up Rook Exodus number 7.
And if anything else sounded good on this week's episode, which it really should have, this was a great episode, go pick up that as well. And if there's anything you want to see us review moving forward, let us know and we will add it to the poll list.
That's
but Katie,
right.
We have other things going on.
We sure do. Be sure to check out our bonus episode from this past week. You should be able to find it on the channel. It is our Rogue Sun Volume 2 review. You may remember how absolutely over the moon Jay and I were about Rogue Sun Volume 1. And Rogue Sun Volume 2, it's also incredibly good. It's a real bright spot in the massive verse. But Jay, what bonus episode do we have coming up for folks?
If you enjoyed our reviewing the original Image Books tier list, we're going to be reviewing the original Valiant books this coming week, which is going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited to dive in there. I still got to make Katie the list of what books we're going to be reading. So
I'm very excited because this is stuff that I have pretty much no knowledge base of. Like, I don't think
I've read some of these outside of Exo Manowar, who I've read like a lot of. I've read like certain books of these characters, but I've never read any of the original first issues except for Exo. So while I'm familiar with some of the characters a little bit, outside of Exo Manowar, these will all be new issues at the right place for me. Which is
yeah, it's very exciting. But if you don't want to deal with any of that, that's fine. We won't be insulted. We'll just be sad. We do have a regular episode coming to you next week as well. And in that one, we'll be talking about Batman Dark Patterns. Number 11, we'll be talking about the finally returning Batman Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, number 9. We'll be talking about Blood and Thunder, number 6, Godzilla, number 3, DCKO, number 1, Deluge, number 1, and Transformers, number 25, which is when Robert Kirkman himself is jumping onto the title.
As is Dan Mora. That's
As
we got
Dan Mora.
All-star creative team coming.
Truly.
And truly still confused as to how Dan Mora has added another book to his schedule.
You know what? I'm not going to complain, though.
No, I definitely will not. But as always, hopefully see you next week. Comic Geeks,